Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.
Okay, hello and welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. We are here with, some news. As you can see from the title and the description and the name scrolling across the bottom here, it's a big day in WWE once again because we are hit with shocking releases. Again, we'll bring up the graphic from the thumbnail. As you can see right there, we've seen the final days in WWE for now, at least for Keith Bearcat Lee, for Karrion Kross, and for Nia Jax. But also, as you can see, scrolling through the bottom there, Harry Smith, Eva Marie, Frankie, Monet, Ember Moon, Mia Yim, Jessi Kamea, Katrina, Cortez, Jeet, Rama, Oney, Lorcan, Trey, Baxter, Zayda, Ramier, Scarlett, B-Fab, Gran, Metalik, and Lince, Dorado. Sorry, mixing up my names there. But just really shocking, really. And once again, really sad. Comes, as I can see, a lot of people online are quite annoyed. It's just as WWE have announced, unexpected record profits or something like that. And it's, it's a real shame anytime this happens. But obviously when it happens at a time like that, it does feel like a slap in the face. Brian Alvarez is reporting that WWE today announced revenues of $256 million for the quarter. And that's not exactly small change, is it? Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, why particular people have been let go. Stories coming out all the time, obviously, where people do get let go. But still, when you see a huge kind of pool of releases like this, it's not exactly individual basis, is it? It seems like, I don't know how many names are here. Let's say 20. 20 people were going to go either way, it seems. So within that 20, I'm sure there's different reasons for each one of them. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying online, the words budget cuts and record profits don't quite go together, do they? And it's a real shame. Now, some of those names obviously are going to be quite shocking for different reasons. Karrion Kross, we've all been quite confused, I think, this year as to what the heck has been going on with him anyway. Suddenly became a weird fetish gladiator, you could say, on Raw. Beat Jeff Hardy got beat by Jeff Hardy, I should say. Had that weird little mini feud with him that went nowhere. And we always kind of get this kind of line of, well, we'll see where it's going. And a lot of times you think, but, and it kind of was proven, I think, a few months back when people like Aleister Black, who had just been in vignettes about coming back, got released. This new kind of character got released. And now the ones that have been released a higher name was for two different reasons. I think some that have just come in or haven't been used that much or have just come back, like Eva Marie, a shocking one to see go. And then you've got people like Frankie, Monet as well. Taya Valkyrie, I'm sure she's going to go back as well into using that name again. People that have not long come in, really. I guess Eva's it's the second guy around, but still quite strange. And then, people like Keith Lee, who have, just like Karrion Kross, has had a really, really, really strange year and just constantly changing character, changing look, changing music, and all these stories and that video he put out a few months ago of, health issues and stuff like that. It's been a strange year for him anyway. But now to get released, and I feel like I've seen Keith Lee say quite a few times this year, tweets of, I could write a book about the stuff I'm going through at the moment, and I'm sure he could. And now this is kind of like the icing on top of the crappy cake, I guess you could say. I mean, maybe he doesn't see it that way. Maybe, as some of them have already tweeted, this is Freedom Day sort of thing for them. And you kind of get a lot of that with releases as well, different sides of it, of course. It's a chance again for some of these people to go again and to try their kind of luck elsewhere. I'm sure we could see plenty of these faces showing up in certain companies. Obviously, the one that's always going to get shouted out about today is AEW, but there's a lot of other places to go as well. I know Ring of Honor are in a bit of a tough situation at the moment, so that's not great for some of these guys. But who knows? Hopefully they'll pull through. But also you've got Impact Wrestling. You've got obviously Japan. You've got Mexico. You can come over here to the UK. Some of you guys, that'll be nice to see you. It's a real shame. Speaking of the UK, another name there I haven't really touched on, but Harry Smith. Again, someone else that's just come back into the company. Saw he was doing some like dark matches and stuff at house shows, but it looked like he'd go somewhere, and it didn't. And then, moving on to someone like Mia Yim. I just feel like we're constantly going now, someone else I haven't mentioned properly, like Mia Yim. I mean, what a great kind of act she had in NXT, join up with that Retribution stuff, another kind of set of storylines that just didn't really make sense for someone. And now, like, she's gone. Like, that's it. Again, I think Ember Moon. I mean, how great was Ember Moon in NXT? Like in years gone by, she was amazing. She was that next big star, fighting with Asuka and stuff like that. Then she goes into that tag team with Shotzi, and then Shotzi goes up to the main roster without her. I mean, I guess the writing should have been on the wall then, but it's still quite strange, like there used to be a bit of a format for this kind of thing. People would kind of just clearly not be used, clearly get jobbed out. But again, that's not really the case anymore. Keith Lee is now Bearcat Lee. He's a whole new character, and he's put time and effort and I'm sure money into it. Karrion Kross, as much as a lot of people joked about that fetish gladiator look, they were trying something. He stood out and got people talking about him. Scarlett, and that's another thing. Why was Scarlett taken away from him? Why? We just figured maybe something's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's going on with these people. Sometimes they have health issues, as Keith Lee come out and mentioned about himself from, what happened earlier this year. Or was it last year now? It's hard to keep up. But, we don't really know. But I just thought maybe it's something like that. Maybe something's going on with Scarlett's personal life. Maybe they've got another plan for her. Maybe. No, Scarlett's let go as well. Really, really strange. I mean, I was watching a video yesterday about Scarlett Bordeaux's time in TNA, and it just reminded me how much of a star she was in TNA. Like, she was the main thing they were promoting for a while, and and then she come in, and I always feel like, she's gonna get to do something soon. I liked her act with Karrion Kross. I thought they did really well together. Created a nice little. The entrance and all that kind of vibe. Taking her away from him seemed a bit odd. And I thought, maybe they're going to do something with her separately, but no, nothing. So, again, sometimes you can say the writing's on the wall, maybe. Oney Lorcan as well, was the NXT tag team champion for quite a while. Only kind of relinquished that, I think, through his injury, which is a real shame. And again, the amount of times you can look back on people's moments in their careers and go, maybe if that didn't happen, maybe if this didn't happen. But then, is it really? I mean, because Bearcat Lee is getting pushed in the sense that he's got a new character and he's let go. Aleister Black, again, a few months ago, gets vignettes, but he's let go. So it's clearly not that straightforward. There isn't that formula, like I mentioned earlier, that there used to be for these kind of releases, where it's like, again, they've been clinging on for a while. Like the joke back in the day of JTG, he made it through this round and whatever else. And it's not really that way anymore. Nia Jax, I haven't even mentioned Nia Jax. I know she's kind of a controversial figure. Some people love her, some people hate her, some people are in between. I think Nia Jax sometimes gets a bad rap just because it's cool to hate on Nia Jax. There are things I've not liked about Nia Jax's character and her performances, but there are things that I thought, she works here. This works for her. So I'm not going to come on here and bash her. And I know some people have already been ridiculous. If you're one of these people going, it was finally about anyone losing their jobs. I mentioned the JTG thing. That was more of a meme. But no one actually wanted the man to lose his livelihood. Do you know what I mean? And I think here it's the same thing with Nia Jax. If you're one of those people just looking at it going, I wasn't a fan, screw, you got to remember these people, these are real people. So please bear that in mind. But Nia Jax, someone who she's got pedigree, man. Like, big part, obviously, her family. That's going to ruffle a few feathers, surely. That's a confusing one as well, because it seemed like she was overly protected at times and overly pushed at times. So to go from that to released out of nowhere is just kind of odd. Obviously, the last significant thing she probably did was a tag team with Shayna, which I wasn't really a fan of because I just don't want that. I don't want them thrown together. I want Shayna to be the old Shayna. And we haven't had the good Shayna in a while, sadly. But yeah, it's not really about Shayna. It's more about Nia here, obviously. But yeah, just not getting much out of either of those two after they broke up. And it's just weird times, man. And then a lot of these names here, scrolling through the bottom as well, who just really haven't had much of a chance. Obviously, you know, we look at Gran Metalik. I'm really struggling with that name today. And Lince Dorado, and like, you know, like the obviously earlier on we had Kalisto recently showing up in AEW. You know, you just think about the Lucha House Party, and was that Lucha House Party and Lucha whatever? They had those teams. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. You think about them, and there's a place on the card for these people. I feel like a lot of these people. But I think it's just another example of just showing how much talent that WWE have hoarded over the past few years, and you can't please everyone. I do think there are things that you could do with certain people better, and there are ways to utilize your 3 hours of Raw better, your 2 hours of SmackDown, your NXT, and even 205 and Superstars and whatever else you want to do, main event if they still do that. I don't know. NXT UK, like you've got a lot of room and TV time to use these people. So yeah, it's tough in that sense. But at the same time, again, there are a lot of people in that company. Yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments. You know, if you're watching live or on demand, feel free to join us and let us know what you think. I want to hear what people think about these releases. Who are you most shocked to see on this list? Is it continuing? Let's have a quick look, actually, because, you know, it's these things kind of just go through the day. See if there's anyone else added. It doesn't look like it at the moment. But yeah, just a lot of unhappy people, not only wrestlers, reporters, fans, wrestlers from other companies I'm already seeing as well. So you've got, I guess would now be Ty Valkyrie, 30 days and she's back is what she's tweeting out. So some of them already counting that down already, looking for that Freedom Day, I guess you could say. But when you think about this year in general, like the names that have been released this year, it's no small amount of names, is it? It's huge. We've got Mustafa Ali tweeting out, "I believe in you." I'm sure referring to these releases, maybe someone specific, who knows. Alexa Bliss with a broken heart emoji. Pete Dunne put up a picture of him and Oney. Paige saying that sucks. A few jokes about how the WWE 2K team are probably struggling right now, which is true. But man, what a strange time. And it's, you know, it's weird because they're on tour at the moment. You know, they're over here. I don't think any of these names are over here though. You know, I've been told, well, stick around, we'll fly you back in a few days, because that would be really weird. So I'm sure the people that are on tour maybe are safe, but then again, who knows? You know, the way things go now, you know, like it's just scrolling through Twitter and I'm seeing like people's reactions, and again, some of these names, and I've already mentioned them. Like I'm scrolling through and I'm seeing Taya Valkyrie and just thinking about how she came in and they did all these vignettes with a dog and that reveal, and then what? You know, like nothing happened. Then I scroll through my feed even more and I see that weird image of Karrion Kross in that weird get-up like I mentioned earlier. And then you scroll further. I'm just describing my Twitter feed here, guys. Scroll further and there's an image of NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I think the third one, yeah, Ember Moon versus Asuka, as I mentioned earlier on. Ember Moon in a great position back in that period. And that is a different NXT, and things have changed a lot there. But you feel like some of these people, like Ember Moon, for example, they've clearly fizzled out in the past year or two, and it's a shame. They clearly weren't the flavor of the month, where there was a time where she could have definitely gone on to be the top of the women's division on Raw or SmackDown, you know? So not just because of her talent, but the way they were booking it, you know, it seemed believable. Maybe they held on to things too long with Asuka, and maybe that held some of the women back at the time. I'm not sure. Keeping her in NXT maybe a bit too long, but yeah, I mean, that's a different story. But yeah, again, I just keep looking at these names, and it's just so sad because I'm caught up in the hype of, oh my gosh, all these people have been released, and I'm sure everyone else is, and like, you know, so you know, I'm laughing here and there, making a few jokes, but seriously, it's a horrible situation. These people are, you know, it can't be nice. I know a lot of them putting on a brave face of, yeah, I'm 30 days, I'm counting down, but it can't feel good, you know. And I'm sure some of these people did want out, but maybe more on better terms. I don't know. It's a really tough one. But yeah, again, let us know what you think of these releases. Who are you most shocked to see saying their goodbyes to WWE at the moment? And this future endeavor part, what is it, the third big one of the year? And there's been like sporadic ones through the year as well. I mean, what a year it's been. Like Braun Strowman's not in the company anymore. You know, like The Fiend's not in the company anymore. Aleister Black is not in the company anymore. And then you get to the ones that were more, I guess, on mutual kind of things or contracts running out. Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan, you know, and obviously that brings into AEW conversation. And who knows where some of these are going to end up going. We look at the graphic for the last one we did, last kind of live shocking releases review, not review, but kind of I guess, live stream we did for it. And if you look at that graphic, you think since then, yeah, Aleister Black has gone on to join AEW. Braun Strowman hasn't done much as far as joining a big company to stay there. Lana as well, another big name that went last time round. And you think this all started in April when the Iconics went, who now are on to bigger and better things, well, compared to what they were doing in their final days in the old Federation. Obviously now in Impact Wrestling once again as a team. And you see Samoa Joe there, you know, went back to WWE. That works out there. So maybe some of these names that are on the current list will be heading back there. Yeah, I mean, again, like I look at these names and I see someone like Harry Smith and I think, why did they bring him back? You know, like, did no one have a plan? Did they just go? It feels very WCW to me to just bring people on without a plan. Like, maybe things were all good around the Bulldog thing, you know, the Hall of Fame ceremony and stuff like that. And they thought we could use him, he'll be a hand. I'm sure we'll find something for him, whether it's even helping younger guys or whether we push him or his NXT UK, a new face of that, whatever he could have been. Surely they would have had plans for him, but like, always felt like we were waiting. Oh, when's he going to show up then? Well, it just wasn't ever going to happen, it seems. Unless I'm mistaken and I missed it. I don't watch the weeklies all the time, I got to be honest. But I haven't heard anything of him being used apart from on dark matches. Yeah, and then Eva Marie, everybody, oh my goodness, everybody was so angry that Eva Marie come back. I say everybody, you know what the internet's like. Loads of people voiced their negative opinions about it. I weren't that fussed. I thought, you know, fair play, like maybe it's going to work out and they've got a plan for her. No, a weird thing with Doudrop. Like what we got from Eva Marie's turn was Piper Niven becoming Doudrop. I'm not sure about that. You know, like, again, I like her. I like Piper Niven. I just don't like the name Doudrop. Maybe that's just it. I just think it doesn't work. But hey, that's just me. But yeah, like she come back for that one feud thing, and that was it. And again, like, what were their plans? What were they thinking when they did that? Why did they do it? If they're only going to do this, it just feels like there are so many people they've been signing up without a plan. They just thought, I will find something for him. And this doesn't feel like the time to be doing that when you're already letting people go. And again, yeah, as I mentioned, people were annoyed about Eva Marie coming back. And it was around one of these releases, and everybody was like, oh, that's ridiculous. But that had been in talks for ages. It's not her fault. You know what I mean? They didn't let them go so that they could bring on Eva Marie. Eva Marie was coming back anyway. Maybe it factored into like someone in the financial department thought, well, we're letting this many people go. We can bring this many people on. That's handy. But it wasn't her fault. Do you know what I mean? So, and I'm sure she's going to get hate here, just like Nia Jax. People going, oh, well, but come on, man. Like, that's not right. It's not right. But let me know what you think. Again, let me know in the comments if you are, you know, how you're feeling about these releases. Where would you like to see these people go? Earlier on, I mentioned a few kind of places they could go. Completely forgot NWA as well. As I look at some of these names again, NWA would be a good option for some of them. I think, again, the obvious one's AEW, and they are at risk of taking too much. But WWE have kind of just thrown so much on their lap, you know, like they'd be silly not to take some of them. But it shows with Bray Wyatt, the fact he still ain't showed up anywhere. You know, it's a lot of times it's about timing as well. So that Adam Cole, Daniel Bryan double reveal was great because it never really been done before that, a double debut like that. But you can't keep doing that. And it was already very, very close to CM Punk not long after Christian, Mark Henry, Big Show. So it does get a bit tight. And you kind of like, yeah, you don't want to kind of lose the sizzle in that steak, let's say. You know, you don't want to make it not mean much because you're always hit with high impact, you know what I mean? So, yeah. But obviously, as you look at these names, some of them are significantly bigger as far as star power than the others. Some of them just haven't had the chance yet. Some of them did have the chance, but didn't quite work out for him. But, you know, I will say that you look at impact, you know, can Karrion Kross head back there with Scarlett? Would that happen? It's just such a strange time. Keith Lee is the weird one because, again, he was so loved in NXT. And when he first had, like, flirtings with the main roster, you could say, in that kind of, was it Survivor Series? And then I think into the Rumble. I think that was around the same time. Obviously, they are in the calendar. I'm just trying to think if it was Survivor Series Rumble and it was that quick, or if it was Rumble then later that year Survivor Series. But either way, he stood out and looked like they were going to strap a rocket to him. And I think they did, just forgot to light it maybe. But yeah, man, what can you say in a situation like this, really? It's just strange. And every time I see someone's name, or again, look at that graphic and I see like Nia Jax again, and I think, oh man, Nia Jax is gone. It just feels really weird. Let's have a look on Twitter. See if we've got anything else going on. It doesn't look like anything else has really changed. But oh my goodness. Dax of FTR says, I wish WCW would have won. Really? As a big stream. Did you see the end of WCW? It wasn't looking good. But I guess if they had won, they might not have fallen into that. Another update, Scarlett below saying officially free to work in 30 days. It's interesting that they're getting the 30-day one and not getting the 60 or the 90. Ember Moon says, all I can do is laugh. I mean, yeah, it's been used for a while, and yeah, it's a real strange one. Mia Yim, I mentioned 90 days. She looks like she's got 90 days. 90 days, let's get to work. Booking inquiries even. No interviews, please. Oh, that's not nice. And then she gives out an email address. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of these people are going to get work. Obviously, things are starting to open up around the world, so it's a little bit easier than that shock one that happened in 2020. But yeah, it's still not easy, is it? You know, it's not ideal to lose your guaranteed income and have to start working for it again. Not working for it, not that they don't work, but you know, like, kind of scraping for it, I guess you could say, doing your own thing, bit of a punk DIY thing. But you know, that's how a lot of these people got noticed by WWE in the first place. So it's going back to what got you to the dance, as they say, you know. So yeah, I think, you know, these people will be fine, and a lot of them, I'm sure, have got companies already eyeing them up, you know, and they'd be silly not to take advantage of some of these names. I always look at the women when it comes to AEW, because I do feel like AEW's women's division is now finally growing. We talked about this quite a lot on the AEW All Out review. If you fancy checking that out, I know it was a while ago, but if you want to hear some of our deeper kind of thoughts and discussions on things like women's division and how it's got better and stuff, I do feel like when these releases happen, the main thing AEW should be looking for are the women. And I think maybe the two most high-profile names here is Nia Jax and Eva Marie. So I know kind of certain wrestling fans, as I mentioned earlier, probably wouldn't want to see that. But Nia Jax is a name. Eva Marie, I think, sort of, with her Total Divas exposure as well. But then talent-wise, again, Ember Moon, like someone I would love to see in that AEW's women's division go straight after Britt Baker. Like, it would, I could see that. And I think it's because AEW is the cool thing right now. It's like, it's what NXT was. NXT was the cool wrestling show for a while, and AEW stole that thunder completely. And at the top of that cool thing for a while was Ember Moon at the, you know, the height of her kind of career in WWE, was, you know, being the face of the women's division alongside Asuka and other kind of top talents like that. So yeah, I could definitely see her going to AEW, and I'd like to see that. But again, AEW is not the be-all, end-all. Maybe Ty Valkyrie goes back to Impact. You know, she definitely made a name there. Impact has been strange the past few years because I don't watch it, you know, but a lot of times I see clips, I'm like, who is this? But the past few years, they've had a lot of names where they tell you who they are. You don't have to watch the show, but you get the buzz. Karrion Kross, Scarlett Bordeaux, Taya Valkyrie, Tessa Blanchard. Who else has come from there the past few years and made a bit of a scene? But, you know, it keeps happening with Impact. I don't know if I just called it TNA. That's still an old habit. It does keep happening, and credit to them. You know, they do kind of make a lot of waves and get people looking. So, yeah, it's a good chance for them as well to pick up some good talent here. And ideally, I guess you want to get someone that's ready-made. You want to get someone that's going to draw eyes to you. And while I do think bigger names have been let go this year, there are still some big ones here. And ones that were like, I wouldn't be surprised if they won the Royal Rumble. You know, like Keith Lee, I could have seen him winning the Royal Rumble in the next year if the past year didn't go the way it did. Like, there's another timeline where Keith Lee at the moment is challenging and going towards, you know, Rumble contention. And there's another timeline where Karrion Kross comes up to the main roster and is currently, you know, mid-card IC US champion or something like that. So hopefully the stain of what's happened to some of these guys over the past few months isn't going to be too strong. But yeah, like I said, I'm sure a lot of these people have a lot of opportunities out there for them, and rightly so. Right, okay, that is pretty much it. Thank you for those that joined us live and those that are watching on demand. It's been a shocker. If there's any more updates, we'll hopefully let you know. And yeah, we really do appreciate anyone that comes along and watches and checks out our channel. Please subscribe. We are a brand new wrestling channel from the Rebellious Noise family. We are the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and we got other channels as well based on other things, film, TV, music, and other sports as well. So check those out if you like other stuff. But if you like wrestling, stay right here and please subscribe. We do a lot of live content like this on breaking news, but we also do it on reviews of shows, and we also do it on previews and predictions of shows as well as build-up shows to pay-per-views. So For example, Survivor Series, right before Survivor Series, we'll be doing our little build-up show, which is like a pre-show. We'll be doing extra predictions and have a right laugh before the show starts. This week as well, we're going to WWE in London, so we'll be doing some press work there. So keep an eye out on the channel for hopefully some exclusive content and interviews coming your way. And it should be a good November. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and to those that have lost their jobs today, I see a lot of you looking optimistic about it, and yeah, I really do hope that you look at it that way, because it's going to be there's a lot out there for you, and there's some great talent that have been let go here, and there's some great places to work now, thankfully. That is the great thing about how the wrestling business is at the moment, at least. So yeah, once again, thank you for those watching, and thank you to all those people that have been released for the entertainment they gave us in the WWE. And like I said, I'm sure you'll go doing that elsewhere. Anyway, I've been Scott, and I'll see you next time for some more Rebellious Noise pro wrestling content. Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.